So we started off our exploration looking at codependence, and then we looked at independence. And our exploration next week is interdependence. What comes up for you when you reflect on interdependence?
Anxiety. Anxiety, because what I recognize is I'm very comfortable with independence, but interdependence, it means I've got to trust other people. You know, I've always had this internal message, which is people are going to stop me. People will stop me doing what I want to do. So I have to overcome that message because that's kept me kind of pushing through on my own, which then becomes a struggle. So I don't really want the
Mm,
struggle.
mm,
So for me to trust another person to kind of do that dance, that interdependence of kind of asking for help or asking or discussing, talking something through. I mean, I noticed it in our relationship very early on at the beginning. It was like I was using the word I quite a lot, and I think a few times you picked me up and said, well, it's both of us, and it took me ages to change the language, but then it was like, oh, I have to communicate to somebody else, and that was a new thing for me, and it still takes. I have to be very conscious around including another person because I tend to go to the self-sufficiency kind of thing, and it always feels really icky and difficult when I say, if it was with you, if I was asking your opinion or what do you think, or when we co-create stuff, I always feel really a mixture of awkwardness and anxiousness, actually. So I know it's a new dance I'm learning to do. So yeah, it feels quite new stepping into interdependence.
yeah, yeah. I certainly can relate to that. I think as I was listening to you speak, what was coming up for me was the vulnerability that's involved when it
Mm.
comes to yeah, that notion of interdependence, because I am comfortable getting to know myself and be present to myself. I'm actually comfortable getting to know the other as well, getting to go into their own reality. But when it comes to getting to know us, which is how I see interdependence, that sort of notion of the flow between me and the other, and this space of us. There is something really vulnerable about that. And I think of the definition by Brené, that risk, that uncertainty, that emotional exposure. So for me, there is that sense of I have no idea where this is going to go because I'm having to rely on the other as opposed to I'm having to rely on us.
Mm.
So I see interdependence as this co-creation, and I think what it means for me is to let go and trust. So trust is the other thing that comes up for me when I reflect on interdependence.
Yeah, and it will be interesting having the session because in many ways the Quest Wednesdays are co-created. They are an interdependent model. So
Mm.
we'll be looking at the theme and hopefully being interdependent while we're looking at it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the session next week.